He has won everything. Conquered global football. Built an $850 million empire of his own. 8 Ballon d'Or awards. A World Cup. The undisputed title of the greatest footballer who ever lived. But when Lionel Messi stepped inside this private 3,500-acre sanctuary, he realized what true, untouchable wealth looks like. Not the wealth of a stadium. Not the wealth of a private jet or a waterfront mansion. The wealth of a man who looked at the world's suffering animals and decided to build them the most extraordinary kingdom on earth, entirely from his own pocket, without asking anyone's permission and without letting anyone else in. This is Anant Ambani, the youngest son of the richest man in Asia. And what he built in the middle of the Indian desert, Vantara, is the most audacious, most expensive, and most deeply personal passion project in the history of billionaire wealth. Lionel Messi flew halfway around the world to see it, and he left speechless. Today, we are going inside everything. The extraordinary origin story of a billionaire son who rescued his first elephant at the age of 12 and never stopped. The $300 million facility he built with 22 hospitals, 75 ambulances, and a dedicated nutrition center preparing 72,800 kilograms of food every single day just for the animals. The moment Messi arrived, and what Anant Ambani gave him that stopped the internet cold, and the controversy that followed Vantara from its very first day, and what India's Supreme Court finally said about it. Stay until the end, because what Messi said in Spanish as he was leaving is the most powerful thing anyone has ever said about this place. To understand Vantara, you need to understand the moment it was born. And it was not born in a boardroom. It was not born in a strategy meeting. It was not born from a philanthropy advisor telling the son of Asia's richest man what would look good for the family's public image. It was born on the side of a road in Rajasthan, during a family car journey from Jaipur to Ranthambore, when a young boy looked through a car window and saw an elephant in distress. Anant Ambani was 12 years old. In his own words from an interview he gave later, "My first elephant that I rescued was in 2007. I was a young boy. I was, I think, 12 or 13 years old when I rescued my first ever baby elephant. She was not a baby. I call her baby because she was a baby to me. She was 30 years old. That elephant's name was Gauri. She was the first animal at what would eventually become Vantara." Most billionaires' children grow up surrounded by extraordinary wealth, private jets, palatial homes, staff at their every command. Anant Ambani grew up and decided the most important thing he could do with all of that wealth was build a home for animals nobody else wanted to save. He graduated from Brown University in the United States with a degree in business administration. He came home to India, and with the full support of his father, Mukesh Ambani, the man worth $120 billion, he began building something that had never existed before. The Reliance Foundation provided the land and the funding. Anant provided everything else, the vision, the obsession, and 2 decades of relentless personal commitment to every single animal on the property. Most people his age and his wealth were building careers or buying sports teams. Anant Ambani was building hospitals for elephants. In March 2025, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi traveled to Jamnagar to personally inaugurate Vantara. Most passion projects get a ribbon-cutting ceremony from a local official. Vantara was inaugurated by the Prime Minister of the world's most populous nation. In December 2025, the Global Humane Society, the international brand of the American Humane Society and the oldest national humane organization in the United States, presented Anant Ambani with a Global Humanitarian Award for Animal Welfare, the youngest recipient in the award's history, the first Asian to receive it. Let us start with the numbers. Because the economics of Vantara are unlike anything in the history of private philanthropy. Vantara spans 3,500 acres in Jamnagar, Gujarat, located within the grounds of Reliance Industries Refinery Complex, the largest oil refinery in the world. The world's largest oil refinery complex contains, within its grounds, the world's largest animal sanctuary. The contrast between those two facts is so extraordinary it barely seems real. The total investment in the facility is estimated at $150 to $300 million. Spent on animals. Not on a yacht. Not on a second home. Not on a private island. On a sanctuary where rescued animals can live without chains, without cages, without cruelty. The animal population. Over 150,000 animals across more than 2,000 species. For context, the San Diego Zoo, one of the most famous in the world, houses approximately 3,500 animals across 650 species. Vantara houses 43 times as many animals. They include over 250 elephants, many rescued from circuses, logging operations, and temples where they were kept in chains. Over 300 leopards, lions, tigers, including rare golden tigers and snow tigers rescued from captivity, rhinos, snow leopards, crocodiles, and birds representing species from every continent on Earth. But what does $300 million actually look like when you spend it entirely on animals? Let us go inside. The Elephant Center alone covers 998 acres, larger than most private islands on this planet. Within it, hydrotherapy pools where arthritic elephants receive daily water therapy for their joints. A jacuzzi built specifically for elephants, a temperature-controlled water pool designed to treat joint pain and rehabilitation. Hyperbaric oxygen chambers, the same cutting-edge treatment used on elite human athletes recovering from serious injuries. Laser therapy machines. Most five-star spas for human beings do not offer hyperbaric oxygen chambers and laser therapy. Anant Ambani built them for his elephants. The medical infrastructure across the full site. 22 hospitals. For animals. 17 clinics. A disease diagnostic laboratory. CT scanning rooms. MRI scanning rooms. A neonatal care unit for newborn animals and orphaned young. 75 animal ambulances standing by on site at all times in case of emergency. Most cities of 500,000 people do not have 22 hospitals. Vantara has 22 hospitals for animals and 75 dedicated ambulances to get them there. The medical team, over 103 veterinarians on staff, with at least 80 present at Vantara every single day, working alongside 3,000 dedicated animal handlers, and a total workforce across the facility of over 3,500 professionals, wildlife veterinarians, biologists, researchers, nutritionists, caregivers, and support staff. Some of the world's largest corporations employ fewer people than Anant Ambani's animal sanctuary. And then the Nutrition Center, a 100,000 square foot facility where specialist animal chefs and nutritionists prepare 72,800 kilograms of food every single day. Every day, species-specific diets for every animal in the sanctuary, from the precise mineral requirements of a rescued snow leopard to the nutritional needs of a baby elephant recovering from malnutrition. Most Michelin-starred restaurants prepare food for perhaps 200 guests per service. The Vantara Nutrition Center prepares daily meals for 150,000 animals, and every single meal is nutritionally calibrated by a qualified animal dietitian. And Vantara has achieved something no other wildlife institution on Earth has managed. It partnered with the Association for the Conservation of Threatened Parrots in Germany to help reintroduce the Spix's macaw, a bird declared extinct in the wild in 2000, back into the rainforests of Brazil. A billionaire's son in India helped bring a bird back from extinction. That is what $300 million can do when the right person is spending it. Let us put Lionel Messi's wealth in perspective, because he is not an ordinary visitor. He arrived at Vantara in December 2025 as one of the wealthiest athletes on the planet, with an estimated net worth of $850 million. A man who earns approximately $135 million per year combining his Inter-Miami salary, his lifetime Adidas deal, and global brand endorsements with Pepsi, MasterCard, and Apple. Most people dream of earning $135 million in a lifetime. Messi earns it in 12 months. Lionel Messi, $850 million. $15 million Gulfstream V private jet. Customized family interior travels between Miami, Barcelona, Argentina, and Ibiza. $40 million plus real estate portfolio. Fort Lauderdale waterfront mansion, multiple Miami condos, Barcelona villa for units in new 80-story Miami tower. Inter Miami equity stake. Minority ownership worth $50. 70M could reach $200 million as MLS grows. Anant Ambani, dynasty wealth. Vantara, $300 million passion project. 3,500 acres, 150,000 animals, 22 hospitals, 75 ambulances, 3,500 staff, funded entirely from personal commitment. Mukesh Ambani family portfolio. Antilia Mumbai, $2 billion. Dubai Palm Jumeirah, $243 million. Stoke Park, UK, £73 million. Father's net worth, $120 billion. Vantara's global impact. Helped revive a species declared extinct in 2000. PM Modi inauguration, Global Humanitarian Award, youngest ever recipient. Messi's private jet costs $15 million. Most people will never own a single car worth a fraction of that. But Anant Ambani spent 20 times that figure and did not buy a plane. He built a hospital network for rescued elephants. Messi's Fort Lauderdale waterfront mansion cost $10.75 million. Beautiful. World-class. One of the most enviable addresses in American sport. Anant Ambani built a 998-acre habitat just for the elephant section of his sanctuary, an area larger than many entire towns. Messi's mansion is extraordinary. Anant Ambani's elephant habitat is 50 times bigger. Messi arrived at Vantara with his Inter Miami teammates Luis Suarez and Rodrigo de Paul. He was welcomed with vibrant folk music, a showering of flowers, and a ceremonial arti. He participated in traditional Hindu rituals, Amada Puja, Ganesh Puja, Hanuman Puja. He walked through the sanctuary with Anant Ambani as his personal guide. He saw the lions, the leopards, the elephants walking free across nearly 1,000 acres without a single chain. He visited the Green Energy Complex and the world's largest refinery. And, at a certain point, the greatest footballer who ever lived simply stopped talking and started listening. And then a gift. Eagle-eyed observers noticed something extraordinary during the visit. Anant Ambani reportedly gifted Lionel Messi an ultra-rare Richard Mille watch valued at approximately $1 million. Most people give their guests a thank you card. Anant Ambani gave the world's greatest footballer a $1 million watch as a welcome gift at an animal sanctuary in the middle of Gujarat. This is what dynastic Asian wealth looks like when it meets global sporting royalty. And as Messi was preparing to leave, he turned to Anant Ambani and said something in Spanish that became the most shared quote from the entire visit. What Vantara does is truly beautiful. The work for animals, the care they receive, the way they are rescued. 3 Silence, a lion cub was named Lionel in his honor. The world's greatest footballer, immortalized not on a trophy, on a lion cub in an Indian sanctuary. The critics of Vantara are not without legitimate concerns, and presenting them fairly is important. Wildlife activists and conservationists have raised serious questions about the sourcing of Vantara's animals, specifically whether some animals were acquired through channels that violated international wildlife trade rules. The facility's location within Gujarat's hot and dry climate has been questioned for its suitability for animals native to rainforests, Arctic tundra, and tropical ecosystems. The non-public nature of the facility, entirely closed to ordinary visitors, has fueled suspicion about what happens inside, and the sheer speed of animal accumulation, from a handful of elephants to over 150,000 animals across 2,000 species in under 2 decades, has raised eyebrows among professional conservationists who question whether any private operation can genuinely provide adequate care at this scale. These are not unreasonable questions. They are the questions responsible journalism asks about any institution accumulating this many living creatures this quickly. But here is what happened when those questions went to the highest court in India. India's Supreme Court appointed a special investigation team, led by retired judges, to examine Vantara's operations in full. Their conclusion? No foul play. The court-appointed investigation found that the acquisition of animals at Vantara was compliant with all applicable laws. The Supreme Court itself stated that the allegations appeared unsupported. And in 2025, Vantara received the Prani Mitra Award from the Animal Welfare Board of India, the country's highest recognition for animal welfare. Whether you find Vantara inspiring or controversial, whether you see it as the world's most extraordinary conservation project or a billionaire's private zoo that no ordinary person can ever visit, you cannot look at an elephant walking free across 1,000 acres, receiving hydrotherapy for its arthritis, eating food prepared by a specialist nutritionist, treated by one of 103 on-site veterinarians, and call that cruelty. Whatever Vantara is, it is the most extraordinary thing any member of the Ambani family has ever built. And Anant Ambani began building it on the side of a road in Rajasthan when he was 12 years old. A childhood rescue on the side of a Rajasthan road. $300 million, 3,500 acres, 150,000 animals, 22 hospitals, 75 ambulances, 72,800 kilograms of food prepared every single day. A prime minister flying to Gujarat to open it. A global humanitarian award. A Spix's macaw brought back from extinction. A $1 million Richard Mille watch gifted to the world's greatest footballer. And a lion cub named Lionel, after the man who came to see it all and found something he had never seen before. Anant Ambani is 28 years old. He has never sought fame, never chased headlines, never performed his wealth for public consumption. He simply built something, one elephant at a time, until it became the most extraordinary sanctuary in the history of the world. And the man who has won more football trophies than anyone alive left it in complete and total silence. In Messi's own words, spoken in Spanish as he turned to leave, what Vantara does is truly beautiful. The work for animals, the care they receive, the way they are rescued.